In 1952, a Kentucky mine inspector named Harold Pruitt descended into a shaft in Leslie County for what should have been a routine safety check. 40 minutes later, he came back up. He didn't speak to anyone, and within a week, he resigned, packed up his family, and moved to Ohio. He never stepped foot underground again. His daughter later said he slept with the lights on for the rest of his life. And in their house, there was one rule. You never asked about Kentucky. His inspection report still exists in the state archives. It's 4 pages long, but page 4 is missing. No record of who removed it, no explanation. And that's where this story begins, not with giants, but with the men who saw something so impossible, they spent the rest of their lives trying to forget it. Eastern Kentucky sits on top of one of the largest cave systems on Earth, vast limestone tunnels stretching for miles beneath coal seams. Most have never been mapped. The men who worked these mines weren't explorers. They were laborers, paid by the ton, focused only on extracting coal. Curiosity cost money, so when they reported strange discoveries, it mattered, because they weren't looking for them. Starting in the early 1900s, miners across multiple counties began reporting the same thing. Not natural caves, but chambers, carved. Walls too smooth to be natural, floors flattened with precision, and inside, remains. In 1908, foreman Elias Combs in Breathitt County filed a report after his crew broke through a limestone wall. Behind it was a chamber 20 feet across. The ceiling was arched, shaped by tools. 3 alcoves lined the walls. Inside each one, a body. He wrote, "Each one laid out straight, arms crossed like burial. The smallest was longer than my tallest man by a full arm's length." The company responded in 2 lines. No further investigation. Resume operations. The chamber was sealed within a week. In 1931, Supervisor Thomas Bard kept a private ledger. He measured what he found. Shortest, 8 feet, 1 inch. Longest, just over 10 feet. He also noted dark metal objects with no corrosion and strange markings carved into the walls. He wrote, "I am not a man given to imagination. Someone above me has decided the rest of the world should not know." 3 days later, his ledger was confiscated, but he had made a copy, hidden in his coat lining. In 1947, a state engineer named Walter Cain entered a collapse section in Harlan County. His account was recorded in a colleague's diary. The chamber, he said, was the size of a church hall. 9 skeletons lay on stone platforms. The smallest measured over 8 feet. The objects around them looked untouched by time, bright, uncorroded. But what stayed with him wasn't just what he saw. It was the feeling. He said it was the first time in his career he felt like he was somewhere he wasn't supposed to be. His report was later classified. After 2 unidentified men visited his home, telling him it was a geological anomaly, something changed. His colleague said, "The light went out of him." Between 1908 and 1965, at least 14 mining sites in eastern Kentucky were permanently sealed. Not because they ran out of coal, but while valuable coal still remained. Coal companies don't walk away from profit. At the same time, multiple archaeological expeditions in the region reported unusual skeletal discoveries. The remains were sent away for study, but no findings were ever published. Today, there are no records. So what happened? Maybe institutions ignored evidence that didn't fit accepted history. Maybe powerful interests wanted control over what was buried beneath their land. Or maybe whatever was found wasn't just about the past. Maybe it was something worth hiding. Before Harold Pruitt died, he asked for a map. He opened it to Kentucky, pointed to a ridge east of Hyden, held his finger there for a long moment, then closed the map and never spoke of it again. The chambers, if they exist, are still there, buried beneath rock, sealed with concrete. Whatever lies inside hasn't been studied, hasn't been explained. So the real question isn't whether these men were telling the truth. The question is, what are they still hiding? And what happens if someone finally uncovers it? Because somewhere beneath Kentucky, in the dark, something is still waiting.